When you were a child, did you ever wonder what you could become in the future? Maybe a princess, a pop star, or a superhero that can fly. When we were kids, it seemed like anything was possible, like we were all special. Adults gave us encouragement and smudged the idea that life is a sky full of stars. Each person is a star, and we all shine in different ways, different colors, different distances. We're all unique and we all shine bright. I'm sure many of you still believe that this is true. There's a meaning in your own life, and you believe that we're all welcome to this world in unique, non-comparable ways. But today, I'm here to shatter your ideal views, or perhaps bend them a little. We often wonder how much happier we would be if we never had to compare ourselves to one another. Parents and teachers often tell children that they're all unique in their own ways and they should just be themselves no matter what other people say. It's often a theme in pop culture as well. When we were young and we showed our parents what we liked to do, like singing or drawing pictures, they said we were the best in the whole world. They said we had 1 in a million talent and that we would make a fortune out of it when we become adults. Little did we know this was not true for most of us. They were lying to us, maybe simply because we were just so adorable at the time, but in reality, maybe it seemed so far away for them until we grew up and saw the real world. As elementary and middle school pass, we start to realize we can't just look at ourselves through rose-tinted glasses anymore. Things we're assessed on become quantitative, like report cards. And this is where many teens lose themselves and feel that they aren't good enough. They become prone to peer pressure. They start to absorb the new and disagree with the old, making them look like disrespectful rebels to their parents. They compare themselves with each other and put themselves down when they're not the same. The same way a baby was to follow physical milestones, teens look at themselves through a path of mental milestones and put themselves down if they can't stay on track with their peers, when really there's no race or competition. There are so many people who advocate against bullying and peer pressure and remind teens what their parents told them when they were younger. Be yourself and don't compare. But this is where we need to hit the brakes. Sometimes we misunderstand what's truly important for teens. I think we're often aware, but are scared to accept that sometimes we need to compare. Because if we just shut out other people and believe that we're special, we become blind to things where we need to grow upon, which makes us arrogant and lose trust from others. In other words, it's difficult to be our most ideal selves and reach our full potential when we have no one to compare ourselves with. We can't grow unless we look for things where we can improve on, and we can't truly improve unless we look at others who do better than us. On the other hand, if all we do is compare ourselves to others and let them affect our behavior or emotions, our identity starts to break down. We'll start to believe that maybe we're just not good enough to do anything. We can't find who we truly are anymore. I was born in New York, went to primary school in Japan, and went back to New York for high school. Near the end of my high school career there, I decided that instead of going to college near home, I would move to Japan and apply to medical schools there on my own, and hopefully enter a medical school in the following spring. But on graduation day, I felt like I was making a mistake when I saw my friends walk up to the podium to receive their diplomas. Some of them were accepted to their top choice school. Some of them weren't. Some of them decided to take some time off before going to their committed school. Regardless, they all seemed like they knew what they were doing, except for me. I gave myself a challenge. I decided to move to Japan and apply to medical schools, not even knowing if I'll get accepted. And if I were to get accepted, I would live in Japan alone for at least the next 6 years. I felt special, but at the same time, I was second-guessing myself because everything seemed so uncertain to me. And when I came to Japan and isolated myself, I heard about my friends from my high school class. They were doing really well, making new friends and learning things that they're passionate about. I felt like I was falling behind because I didn't achieve any of those things yet, and I regretted going to Japan. I thought maybe if I were to go through the proper path that I was supposed to go through, which was going to college near home, dorming with new friends, studying, partying, and graduating on time, I would have felt so much more like my peers, and I would have felt so much more confident in what I did every day. But thinking about it now, why was I seeking comfort from doing things that were supposed to be done at that time in my life? While understanding that we're all different, we often feel the need to do what others are doing. We try to look for things that set us apart from the rest of society, but if we go too far, we become isolated in our own minds. So, where is the middle ground? In order to survive in society, we must compare ourselves to others. Self-improvement is something that we must go through in order to become better people in society. But when we look at others and just jump to the conclusion that we're not good enough, then we can't become better people in the first place. We feel miserable or insecure when we try to find bad attributes of ourselves, when all we compare ourselves to is a little tip of a gigantic iceberg of another person, such as appearance, social status, educational status. Without valuing ourselves and without the underlying idea that we will always care for ourselves, no matter what obstacles we face, we can't compare ourselves to others in the correct mindset and perspective. I didn't understand how important it was to keep my own self-worth when I isolated myself after my high school graduation. I needed to understand that I was someone unique, and I didn't need to do what others were doing in order to feel good about myself. Recently, I was introduced to a quote by author and influencer Mark Manson. The problem is that people measured self-esteem by how positively people felt about themselves. But a true, accurate measurement of one's self-worth is how people feel about the negative aspects of themselves. Someone who actually has high self-worth is able to look at the negative aspects of their character frankly and acts to improve on them. In other words, in order to have self-worth, we must accept all aspects of ourselves, including the negatives. We must also understand that the realization of such negative aspects come from observing others and going through honest self-reflection. But without the foundation of our own love and without a positive outlook towards our own identities, we can't allow ourselves to compare with others, and we can't learn from it in a positive mindset. Honesty and transparency towards our strengths and weaknesses are crucial to growing into our most ideal selves. But the process of finding our weaknesses will not be a hurtful experience if we know that each one of us has the potential to shine in our own ways. So, in order to understand that my life after high school was special for me, I needed to find the negative aspects of my life by looking at my peers. They were happy because they had friends and mentors who they could talk to. They were happy because they had a balanced lifestyle with hobbies and academics. They were doing well in school because they had better study habits than me. After all, maybe that's all I ever wanted when I felt insecure about my life in Japan. Because I saw that, I was able to improve my own life and try to see if I can be happy with my life by being inspired by my peers. If we all had this mindset, not only can we feel confident in our own skins, but also be able to welcome other people of all different backgrounds, like capabilities and opinions. Instead of calling people weird, we can start accepting them for their uniqueness. People who often feel discriminated against can feel confident by being accepted. We can look at people and both learn from them and radiate something that they can learn. Comparisons do not need to be a form of judgment. It's an exchange of differences between people. And if we all approach life with the understanding that the negative aspects of ourselves are just simple lessons where we can take into reflection, we never have to feel bad about ourselves just because someone else is doing better than us in that particular moment. So perhaps life is not a sky full of stars, because stars just float there, doing whatever happens according to the course of nature. In our world, we collide and travel amongst others. But we can change our trajectories with our own will by changing the perspectives of our lives. Anything is possible if we become the ideal version of ourselves. There is meaning in our own lives, and I believe that we're all welcome to this world in unique, non-comparable ways. But as we interact with others, we can grow our character. This past summer, I went back to New York to visit my hometown for the first time in months. I got to see my family and friends, and they were all doing really well. I finally felt so happy for them, despite them doing better things than me, because I worked hard to find my self-worth through my months of independence. As a clueless, stumbling, adventurous, independent student, today, I find my self-worth from my ability to take the initiative of studying medicine away from home, stepping out of my comfort zone to give this talk in front of many, and from working hard every single day towards becoming a competent and compassionate physician to save thousands of lives. No matter how long it may take to graduate from this rigorous program, as long as I keep in mind that being here itself is an accomplishment, I know I can keep going. And I get to meet so many other people and learn from their uniquenesses as well. Thank you to everyone who helped me understand that learning from others and self-reflection isn't a judgmental experience. It's an inspiration for me to grow my uniqueness, become a more open-minded person, and share my spirit with others. From absorbing the beautiful uniquenesses of every person that I meet, I get to grow into who I strive to be. And I hope I can inspire others to hold on to their self-worth so they can continue to grow and radiate their identities. Thank you.